Hello, everyone, and welcome in once again to IceCats Insider. I'm the voice of the Pee Dee IceCats, Tom Callahan, joined to start the top of the show here by head coach Gary Graham. Gary, a weekend split here with the Monroe Moccasins, but before we get into talking about that and the playoff chase and all that fun stuff, I want to talk about the attendance record for this team as they break the single-season FPHL attendance record and still one home game to go. What does that mean to you as a coach and someone who has literally been here since the beginning and seeing what this team has built this year?
Well, I think, going into it, there was a lot of excitement. We see the potential with it being a hockey market that has been a proven market before, even though it was about 20 years ago. But just the thirst for the game, when I came down to do my press conference and talking with people and seeing the excitement, seeing how quickly they were selling season tickets, you could tell that there was going to be something that we're going to be able to build upon during the summer. And in my wildest dreams, I could have never thought it was going to take off like it did. I think it's all credit to the ownership and the front office people, and also to our amazing players, all the players that have been here all year. They've done such a good job, building these relationships with the community, with the fan base, and just going out to local businesses. Of course, our corporate sponsors, those have been ticking up the whole season once people have gotten in to see the product on the ice and have gotten to believe in what the ownership is doing and what we're doing as a staff. So it's just been a lot of fun to watch. Of course, for me, I'm more worried about the hockey outside of things and putting a good product on the ice and making sure, we're prepared and all that. But seeing the business side of it go great for us, of course, is great for the hockey side, because it's always easier to recruit during the summertime when you could say, hey, listen, we led the league in attendance. There's a lot of support from ownership, from the community, from the fan base. So it makes our job easier during the summer.
When you think about, Gary, all the way back to October, where this team's come from to where they are now, I mean, the lighting, the scoreboard, a lot of the in-house features, all that stuff, the actual show for the fans, this team's come a long way in a real short period of time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you weren't here right at the beginning. You came in just a couple months in, but I'm sure you've seen it. Of course, I've seen it even from a bigger standpoint. And hearing the ownership's ideas about, they have some other ideas. Players' lounge for the guys. They got some other ideas too. And the thing is that when this ownership group, when they talk about things, they're doers, they're executors. These guys they own their own businesses. When they say that they're going to do something, they mean it. And that's, for me, as a fellow entrepreneur, my wife owns her business. I've owned a business for 25 years. It's nice to see guys that put their money where their mouths are. They're not just, there's a lot of guys that talk a big game and they don't back it up. Whereas this ownership group, when they tell me something's going to happen or something's going on, it happens. It gets done in real time immediately.
That's one of the other things, too. I think that in building it, what we've seen, you talk about that relationship and building it out in the community, Gary, and going to the corporate partners and everything. But I mean, from the top down, everybody's been pretty hands-on here in this organization.
Yeah, it's you've seen the meetings that we have. I think we all bring good ideas to the table. Some of us, like me and you, have been doing this a long time, so we've seen things that work, that don't work. And even though I'm a hockey coach first and foremost, there's always things that I watch in different markets where they do good things, and I've learned different things from watching how good organizations like Fort Wayne and Pensacola. Those are two first-class organizations I worked for years. They lead their leagues in attendances every year, and they do great in the corporate market and what they do in the community and stuff. So I've been blessed to work with very successful franchises. So I've seen on the business side what they do, and I just love to be a part of kind of passing on little nuggets of information here and there when I can, to help out. I know you've had great suggestions too, as well as everybody has in our entire organization. And the cool thing is that the owners, they trust the stuff that they hear, and then they go out and they listen to us, and it's not that every single idea that we have is put in a real time, but there's notes that are made, and if the stuff doesn't get done right away, it's probably stuff that we're talking about for next year.
Well, and speaking of which, and I know we're already excited about that with the season ticket renewals that are going on right now, the playoff push that's going on. There's one home game left, and we've already got the attendance record, so a lot of positives off the ice right now for this Pee Dee IceCats team. But let's talk about on the ice. You get a split out of Monroe. And I guess the best place to start, look at the game that Alex Legkov had, 4 goals, which, by the way, is a new club record in a single game, 4 goals in a game. And, Patrick Smarcinkevics, 4 assists on the night. It really just seemed like, Gary, all of a sudden in that second period, the Ice Cats kind of came alive and they just went from there.
Yeah, it's funny. I rewatched the film this morning, and the instat. We got to talk to our offense officials. The shots on goal the last probably 5 games have been completely wrong with what's actually been getting clipped. That's neither here nor there. But we actually outplayed them big time in the first period too. Even though the shots didn't say that on our scoreboard, they were definitely different when the instat clipped it. But I loved our first period. Obviously, the second period we started getting the results in the net that you want to see, and a great third period. But even Friday night's game, we controlled the time of possession, controlled the pace of play. We did so many good things. They were just an extremely opportunistic team on Friday. They got some really funky, crazy bounces. Again, we got a different viewpoint. The goal that I challenged, it was not a goal. So again, that's the second one, like the Athens one, like we talked about, where they had to apologize to me after the fact. We got another example here where we have video evidence and clearly of it not going across the line. So I'm getting a little frustrated myself, Tom, with that between all of us. But neither here nor there. They got a couple greasy just whacking the puck at the side of the net. But in terms of grade A scoring chances and creating offense, time of possession, we dominate that. And it's crazy to say that when you lose the game 5-2. But so we were very confident in going into that game yesterday with the way that we played. We knew that with the results should be better. That was kind of a fluky game, we thought, on our side of things. And again, the guys came out swinging.
I noticed you juggle the lines up, and understanding that you're still trying to figure out where to put guys. And really, it's like you got a whole bunch of acquisitions here at the end. And, Elijah Wilson is one of the guys that I'm thinking of. I know you're trying to find that right fit for him up and down the lineup. And how much of a challenge is that for you as a coach right now to know, hey, I've got a lot of talent. I just got to figure out how it all fits.
Well, that's why we made the adjustments, like you said, for Sunday's game. Moving Lakoff up there with Patty and Houston, and then moving Elijah off that first line with Dennis and Fro. Dennis and Fro are 2 very good. They're not only offensive guys that can help you out, but they're also very good defensively, very defensively sound. I think Dennis is one of the best defensive centermen in the league. Also with his face-off ability, and he can contribute with time of possession, and offensively, he makes his wingers better. So, getting some more speed, as a right shot right winger. Elijah is a very responsible winger. We were able to put that line together and play against the Ballant and Fournier line, their top offensive line, and then move a guy like Lakoff up to the first line, and we were able to play them second and third line. So it really freed up that matchup, which I think was really a kind of a catalyst to what we were able to do offensively.
And speaking of offensively, again, we talk about Legkov. So that line seemed like it was going. You finally do breakthrough on the power play as well. But what are your thoughts on that? I know the stats say 1 for 10 on the power play from the weekend, but what are your thoughts as to the special teams?
I tip my hat to Monroe. They had some good timely saves. Their goaltenders made some really good saves, especially on Friday night. But realistically, their penalty kill was very aggressive. They did a good job taking away time and space. We moved the puck well. Our entries were pretty good. But again, I keep wanting to say Friday night's game because on Saturday night's game, we made a couple amazing passes to beat their pressure. Just when the puck wouldn't sit flat. If you really watched the game, it's just like whenever we made the play to the right guy right there, when we want to be shooting that one timer or making that play, the puck was jumping and it wouldn't sit flat. Then we had to kind of corral it, make a play then, and all of a sudden then the window is shut down. Time and space was limited. So, again, I tipped my hat to Monroe. They were aggressive, but there were just some times when we had the right plays that we made, but then when it came time to kind of capitalize on the right shot at the right time, we just weren't great. So it was better last night than it was the night before. And again, we made some changes to the power play units as well.
Yeah, and talking about all that on top of everything, you really emphasized this weekend in our pregame chats. Hey, we can't take the bait. We have to, stay out of the penalty box and not let Monroe goad you into things. Do you feel like your team took a big step in doing that this weekend?
Oh, we were extremely disciplined, extremely disciplined. It's a beautiful thing. This is the first weekend of the year, and I'm not going to get into why, but I mean, there was no yelling at the referees from our group. There was no like high emotional, like just yelling and ranting for calls and beaking at the refs and the linesmen. And, it's funny. I think that helps, right? If nobody's yelling at the rest might like you a little bit more. And we also were disciplined too as well. But it definitely helps with the politics of creating that relationship with the referees and the linesmen when, if you're staying off of them and you're not on them all the time, you might get some more favorable calls.
Well, things did certainly seem to go the way of the Pee Dee IceCats here, especially. So I know that Friday/Sunday game, it's kind of interesting how things were chopped up. You and I talked about that pregame as well. Now that you've been through it, where you actually had to resume a game in the middle, I mean, what was that process like? Did it seem like both teams were kind of trying to catch a moving train, or what were your thoughts?
I just thought it was normal. It didn't feel anything different other than the fact you knew that it was just going to be 8.5 minutes left in the first period. So it honestly, when you're in the moment, you're in the zone, you're not really thinking about that stuff. Once the puck drops, you're just, you're watching everything just like you would any normal game.
And then on into the second and third period. And as I mentioned, a 5-1 win. Head coach Gary Graham is joining us right now. So, Gary, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk about the Blue Ridge Series coming up. And then, of course, the quest for this team into the playoffs. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with more of IceCats Insider in just a moment.
This sandwich, it's a complete game changer. Hello, this is Mike, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Pretzel Cheddar Club is that juicy chicken with that toasty pretzel bun. From the first bite to the last bite, that bun, it's crispy, cozy, just amazing. With the pretzel bun, the Dijon mustard, and the chicken, you have those three things together, and it makes that sweet, savory kind of combination. It's everything that you love about food rolled into one. It looks phenomenal. It tastes great. It's delicious.
Real guest paid for their testimonial.
Dal Massimo Ristorante Italiano, where culinary passion meets the art of hospitality. Established in 2010, our restaurant was born out of a love for authentic flavors and a commitment to providing our guests with a memorable dining experience. At Dal Massimo, we believe that food is more than just sustenance. It's a celebration of culture and community. Whether you're here for a cozy dinner, a festive celebration, we look forward to serving you.
Gorget is a local craft distillery based in Lugoff, South Carolina, producing rum, vodka, whiskey, and bourbon in small batches. Founded in 2015 by 3 local gentlemen, Gorget has a fine line of handmade, local spirits. No matter what you desire, we have something for you. Isn't it about time you revolutionize your spirit? Visit us online at gorgetdistilling.com.
You're watching the IceCats Broadcast Network. This portion of today's broadcast is brought to you by Stanley Steamer. Stanley Steamer of Florence provides professional deep cleaning services and comprehensive care for a cleaner, healthier home. Butler's Men's Shop, your one-stop shop for men. Everything from tuxedos and suits to sportswear. We have it all. Integrative Health Solutions, your partners in health.
We back. Let's go. Out in London, that's my team. Slide through streets, help box and beans. In the streets, the life get crazy. Falling asleep, my eye get lazy. Ain't God on my side, it's forever. Don't come run if you dance with the devil. Ain't even through the rainy weather. Me and the brothers, we stick together.
Don't know if I'm red or blue like Manchester. 12 of my boon at the phone up Leicester. Men got too many bars like a cliff. Tofi and Tommy, we doing it diff. Had to medicate, roll up a spliff. Ganja stank, I can't even sniff.
Open the scat with a wristlet diff. Funny banter instead of
In the heart of Florence, South Carolina, discover Palmetto Smiles, where artistry meets advanced dental care, led by Dr. Brian Sang. Dr. Sang is a highly trained implant and cosmetic dentist, dedicated to transforming smiles with advanced techniques. He's committed to continuing education and bringing the latest methods to every patient. At Palmetto Smiles, comprehensive dentistry is under one roof: general care, restorative solutions, TMJ therapy, delivered with compassion. Ready for a healthier, more beautiful smile? Call 843-203-5155 or visit palmettosmiles.com. Dr. Brian Sang and his team can't wait to welcome you.
Ding dong.
Mountain Dude?
The mountain is calling.
Give me a mountain, lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a dew. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing mountain dew. Yeah, give me the sunshine, give me a dew.
Looking to score big with your printing? M&M Printing and Graphics is your hometown team. From flyers, business cards and posters, to vinyl graphics, banners, and outdoor signage, we do it all. Whether you're promoting your business, cheering on your team, or bringing your brand to life, we've got the players and the skills to make it happen. Visit mmpg.us or call 843-662-2412. M&M Printing and Graphics, the official printer of the Pee Dee IceCats.
The Pee Dee IceCats are lighting up the scoreboard, and Powers Properties is proud to be the official housing provider. Looking for an apartment? Powers Properties has you covered with modern apartments, convenient locations, and a team that puts you first. Just like the IceCats, we know what it takes to win, on and off the ice. Score big with Powers Properties. Relax, you are home.
Welcome back on Pee Dee IceCats Insider. Tom Callahan here with you. Head coach Gary Graham joining me as we come back. We just looked back at the Monroe series. Now we're going to look ahead. Blue Ridge here on the weekend. And Gary, first of all, let me ask you, are you paying close attention to the quote-unquote magic number, or are you just kind of a mindset, hey, if we take care of business, everything should just be fine?
Yeah, that's exactly the way I've always been. I think you just worry about what's in front of you. You know, we want to continue playing good hockey. You know, we still, like you said, we got a lot of new guys that have come into our lineup in the last month that we're trying to get everything kind of seeing. We want good, healthy competition with our club. We want to find the right lines that are meshing well. And of course, we're still looking, you know, for that overall depth, you know, where we can get all three lines contributing. So, you know, that's the main focus that I want to continue to find now with, you know, obviously jumping up the lines, you know, on Sundays. It's great to see Lakoff have 4 goals, but, you know, 4 of your 5 goals, you know, came from one line, you know, and that's not to say the other lines didn't generate scoring chances. But again, you know, I'm still trying to get, you know, 3 lines that can get us going offensively and generate scoring chances. So, you know, that's going to continue to be the thing that, you know, I want to, you know, press with our forward group is we want to find some more finish with some of our guys. We're, you know, as long as we're getting some chances, but we gotta bear down on some of those chances. I think some of our guys should have had some goals, you know, some easy tap-in goals that we didn't bear down on. So I want to continue to challenge the group moving forward about that. You know, we got to get depth. You know, you win into the playoffs and down the stretch with depth. And yes, it's great to see Lakoff have an unbelievable game and Popoff, you know, have a Gordie Howe hat trick, but you know, we want to see overall depth.
I know that a lot of fans, speaking of Jordan Popoff, are probably wondering how he's doing, how Charlie Bedard's doing. I mean, look, everybody's a little banged and bruised at this time of year, but defensively, especially right now, how's the health holding up?
It's holding up pretty good. You know, we got a couple guys on the IR, you know, that, you know, they're getting healthy here. They'll be able to, you know, jump back into the lineup here. Very good, capable players. You know, the health overall of the group is pretty solid right now.
So defensively also, and as you mentioned, Jordan Popoff with the Gordie Howe hat trick, which, by the way, Gary, did you know that Gordie Howe himself only had 2 of those in his career?
I did not know that, but I know you're a very statistical man, so I definitely trust what you say.
It's kind of funny that it ended up named after him that way. But for fans who might not know, it's a goal and assist in a fight in the same game. And so Popoff ends up with that in the game. But, we've talked about getting more from the blue line. And in recent games, we've seen Hamilton put the puck in the net, Della Savita picking up a goal. Is the thought process there maybe telling these guys, hey, try to shoot the puck more? Or how do you try to generate that little bit more offense from the back end?
Just obviously, we're trying to get the D to activate a little bit more on the rush and feel comfortable with that when appropriate. We had some good entries with some D. Della Savita is still kicking himself in the butt for he activated on the rush and got a 2-on-1 backdoor pass on the one game, and he still doesn't know how he didn't tap it in. It should have been a backdoor tap-in goal, but he's still mad at himself for that one. But and it's also a 5-man game in the offensive zone. We're really trying to, and you've seen us really effectively last night do it, Thomas. We want our D to be comfortable moving in the offensive zone. The old way that defensemen were supposed to play, we're just kind of very static, up at the offensive blue line, not a lot of movement, where, we're trying to give our D a little bit more room for creativity. And you're seeing that with some of our defensemen, whether that ends up with points or our goals or assists, I should say, is not always the point. By them getting involved on the cycle, sometimes it opens up another guy and opens up some time and space for somebody with the puck. Ultimately, that could lead to a scoring chance, which, that's how Patty scored his first goal on the one night. So, that's where we want to get our D-core going. It's great to see them actually get goals, but as long as they're doing a job in the system that we're trying to do, that's good for us.
It's interesting rotationally because every team's defensive scheme is a little bit different, but once you really do get that motion going in the zone, and we've seen, Legkov or rag the puck around, or Marcin Kevics or any of these guys, Houston Wilson, as they're cycling around the zone, it really does cause some breakdowns. It's just a matter of making sure you take advantage of those.
Exactly. You want to generate some grade A chances off of it. When you get a team running around, if they can't make their switches or their communication calls, you're typically going to have somebody open, and we just want the guy to be open in the scoring area. Sometimes when we do that, we get a little too perimeter, which, a lot of teams try to, do that to us too. Blue Ridge will be one of those teams that tries to do the same thing. And, when teams do that, you want to protect the most important areas, but you also, as a forward group, we want to make sure we got traffic around that goalie. So if we do get a shot off, it's a challenging shot for the goalie to handle.
Well, and that's a perfect lead-in because let's talk about Blue Ridge here, a team that, they're not in our division, but it pretty much feels like they should be with the amount of times we see them and how many times we've played them. It's kind of crazy to think, though, that, boy, oh boy, these guys really, they've hung in there all year. They are struggling to, try to be as high up in the standings as they can. They might be locked into a potential third, but that's not guaranteed for them yet. So, both teams coming in really have a lot to play for this weekend.
Yeah, it's the same when we went up there a few weekends ago. They were the hottest team in the league a few weekends ago when we went up there. And even though we had the results that we wanted, Blue Ridge played very well. They did some very good things. Their coach had a heck of a game plan against us. There were some things about those games that I really did not like. Frankly, one of the games I thought that Blue Ridge outplayed us. We just happened to be opportunistic with our chances. It was one of those rare times this year where I thought that we won a game that maybe we didn't deserve to win. And so, they each time we've played them, I think that they've had a more competitive game plan against us. So it's definitely not anything that we take lightly.
Well, and as you mentioned, last time we went up there, they were on a pretty hot streak, and it's happening again. They've won 5 in a row here. When you're looking at this team, what is it about them? What are they doing well right now?
Well, they got a lot of depth. I like the way their D breaks the puck out. They're very connected on their breakouts. They're a good possession. They kind of play a game like us. They want to possess the puck. They want to play a possession game. And, when they do that, they're very effective.
So we're talking right now with head coach Gary Graham. The Blue Ridge Bobcats coming up on a Friday and Saturday. Then looking ahead, Twin City Thunderbirds on a home-and-home weekend. The final home game of the year coming up on April 4th. It's Fan Appreciation Night, of course, brought to you by Southco, but also Star Wars Night to benefit ALS of South Carolina. And Gary, I wanted to ask you too about, I mean, there's a lot of fun in the theme nights for the fans and stuff, but as a coach or maybe the players, do the guys get into that kind of stuff? Do they get excited when it's like, for instance, Star Wars Night coming up on April 4th?
That would be more a question to them. I mean, I think they do get a kick sometimes, if they really like the jerseys and as we call it swag, if the swag looks good, they look good, look good, feel good, play good type of thing, but some of the jerseys, and I've been doing this a long time. I mean, I've seen some where the guys just are dreading wearing them, just because of whatever it is. I remember one time we went to Toledo and Fort Wayne. It was SpongeBob night, and we had to wear. They were SpongeBob and we were Patrick or something, and so they were pink. And we had a starfish on our jerseys, and the guys are like, "Are we really wearing these?" So, sometimes they can get in their heads that they really don't want to wear one of them. But overall, I think we've done a good job with the ones that we've done this year.
Gary, I got to tell you a story. When I was in Indy, we had a Garfield versus Odie matchup.
Yep, that sounds about right.
And the funny thing is obviously Garfield's orange, Odie is yellow. And I can't remember who we were playing that night, but they had to change after the first period because the jerseys were actually too similar and they were having a hard time telling each other apart. So,
yeah, I've been involved in a couple of those where they don't really think out the color scheme well, and the linesmen are having and the refs are having a difficult time. Yeah, I've been involved in a couple of those.
So but we will have jerseys for the Star Wars evening here coming up as well. So I want to let everybody know that. And we're absolutely looking forward to that. And yeah, Gary, it is Fan Appreciation Night. And, you having been here all season, seen the growth, seen the excitement. I mean, I'm sure you've got fans coming up to you all the time, telling their stories, talking about whether it's, back in the Pride days, maybe they were younger fans back then, or, maybe they were season ticket holders. And I mean, what does that mean to you when you think of the term Fan Appreciation Night?
Well, they're the ones that pay the bills. This is why we do what we do. It's to give back to them. It's about putting a good product on the ice. The economy is always tough. If you're trying to bring a family of 5 or a family of 4 or something to a hockey game or to do anything, to the movie theater or whatever, it costs a decent amount of money anymore. So, that it's for us. We appreciate every dollar that's spent with us. It goes to the team. It goes to the players. The owners are then putting that money and reinvesting it back into the team. I can tell you that for sure. And we just want to continue to grow this thing and give back and make the give the community something they can be really proud of.
Absolutely. And so, Gary, before I let you go for this one, I just wanted to ask your thoughts back through the season here. If you think about any particular moments when you look at it from, October to now, anything that in particular stands out in your mind, and maybe some memories, you take with you from the regular season here before we get to the playoffs.
Oh, don't do that to me now. My memory's terrible. I mean, there's a bunch of them, but I think, some of those bigger crowd nights, I really liked. I liked it when Voodoo Child, the DJ, came the first night because I thought that was really cool. Just because I've always thought to myself, if I ever owned a hockey team, I'd try to make it like Vegas. I'd have the DJ jamming out and have all that fun stuff. But, for me, I think when the Jumbotron came in and we had our first weekend with the Jumbotron, I think that was maybe the Athens weekend, maybe, when they were in town for 2. I'm trying to remember. But that was special just because I know, we've been waiting on that thing all year. We've been waiting and it's so excited for that thing to be up there because that was kind of like the first thing, like to really make it an official feel of a minor league barn, right? We had the screens up in the corners, but when that thing came in, all of us, the team, we were like, now we got a rink. Like now this is a pro hockey rink. And it's like we just, we were moving on up. You know what I'm saying? It's like that was the feeling of the whole team when we got the Jumbotron in there. So, that was really cool seeing how they used it. That was one of my favorite moments, was just seeing that in there for the first time in action.
I'm surprised you didn't pick the first game with the new lights, which I still get a kick out of every time they snap those lights on after the intros. All you could hear all the fans go, "Oh," because it's so bright in there now.
Yes, the lights. I mean, everything. Early on, the stereo came in. The stereo wasn't done right away, and then the stereo came in early. So it was kind of like the stereo, then you got the light upgrade, then you got the corner LED screens, and then you got the Jumbotron. And so it just keeps going and going and going, So it's just been a continuation of work from everybody, Rex and his awesome staff over there. And, I want to tell everybody that's listening, it's very unfortunate about the ice issue, but I can tell you this. I am there all day long, like every day. I mean, nobody's there more than me. I almost live in my office. This crew of guys that Rex has, they are constantly working on that ice surface. And it was such a bizarre thing because the ice was great all week long. And even in the morning skate for both teams, the ice was great. So just for that thing to happen was such a weird thing. I mean, we had 0 ice issues all week long, and we were beating on it like crazy in practice. So it was just kind of a fluke thing. And, for me, it's just, I don't want, the people in the community. It's not a knock on the people that work at the Florence Center, because they do a tremendous job. And I just want to make sure that I get that out there and it's known that, we appreciate everything those guys have been doing for us this year, and they do a great job.
Well, and even though it led to a kind of an oddball late Sunday continuation of the Friday game, it all worked out. You ended up with the 2 points. And honestly, I think there were probably some fans who got to come in on Sunday who really hadn't checked out a hockey game yet, and hopefully they're back.
What a great marketing idea by the owners. I thought that was a really slick thing to do, to get people incentivized. Obviously, you're competing with the big race. And so for that, and for hopefully, like you're right, hopefully there were a bunch of first-time customers in there. And, how it goes, you get a first impression and a last impression in life. And, that was a good first impression, a 5-1 win.
Absolutely. I hope everybody gets hooked and they want to come on down and check out our website, pdprohockey.com, for tickets, schedule, all that fun stuff. So, Gary, always appreciate your time. Looking forward to the games on the weekend, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, that is head coach Gary Graham. We'll take a break, and we will be back with more here in just a moment. We've got CEO Mike Ronan coming up next on IceCats Insider.
But we back. Let's go. Out in London, that's my team. Slide through streets, help box and beans. In the streets, the life get crazy. Falling asleep, my eye get lazy. Ain't God on my side, it's forever. Don't come run if you dance with the devil. Ain't even through the rainy weather. Me and the brothers, we stick together.
Don't know if I'm red or blue like Manchester. 12 my boon that the phone up Leicester. Men got too many bars like a cliff. Tofi and Tommy, we doing it diff. Had to medicate, roll up a spliff. Ganja stank, I can't even sniff.
Open the scat with a wristlet diff. Funny banter instead of
Welcome to Zapata's, your best choice for authentic Mexican food. Whether you want to stop by for brunch or bring your whole family in for Taco Tuesday, our restaurant offers excellent Mexican cuisine with premium ingredients and artful presentations made by our master chefs. 2 locations to serve you in Florence and in Hartsville. Order online at zapatasrest.com. Pata's Grill Mexican Restaurants. Good food, always fresh. For more than 85 years, Tomlinson Sales Company has proudly served customers across South and North Carolina. As a proud partner and the official outlet store of your Pee Dee IceCats, stop by to check out exclusive IceCats merchandise, plus an ever-changing inventory that makes Tomlinson a must-stop destination. Visit them at 1309 East Palmetto Street in Florence and discover the Pee Dee's hometown store. Tomlinson Sales Company, where great service, trusted brands, and community pride come together. That's Tomlinson Sales Company, 85 years strong and still serving the Carolinas.
Life happens on your floors, but when dirt, spills, and messes take over, it's time to call the experts. Stanley Steamer of Florence provides a deep cleaning technology that removes dirt and allergens, leaving your floors fresh and spotless. Breathe easier and enjoy a cleaner, healthier home with Stanley Steamer. Call or visit us online today. Stanley Steamer, your home deserves it.
No matter which sport clips you walk into, you'll know it's special. And just for you. Our stylists don't guess your best cut. They are experts in men's and boys' hair. Our cutting zone has all the basics and specialized equipment. From our comfortable cutting chairs to an array of specialized cutting tools and clippers. We got you covered. Visit Sport Clips of Florence today, located at 1940 Hoffmeyer Road, Suite D. We are the pros in men's hair.
Southco Commercial Curb Appeal is the trusted partner for businesses in Florence and surrounding areas that want to maintain a clean, safe, and attractive commercial properties. With our wide range of services, from sweeping and landscaping to snow and ice treatment, we're here to ensure your property remains in pristine condition all year long. Southco Commercial Curb Appeal. Experience the difference.
Known for his integrity, attention to detail, and client-first approach, Sean Austin builds lasting relationships based on trust and results. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer, a seasoned investor, or looking to sell your current home, Sean combines local expertise with strong negotiation skills to deliver a seamless experience from start to finish. Austin and Associates at RE/MAX Professionals. Your next address is just a slap shot away. Go IceCats!
Ding dong. Mountain dude? The mountain is calling.
Give me a mountain, lots to do. Give me the sunshine, give me a view. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing mountain dew. Yeah, give me the sunshine, give me a view.
Hey, let's go.
You would think it's easy to sit back as a member of the ownership team and think, man, what an inaugural season. Look what we were able to build. But all it does is make me really become incredibly thankful for everyone involved that isn't the ownership team. So it's the Tom Callahans and the Phils, the arena staff that's worked so hard to grow that building, our coaching staff, the Nick Grahams, the Gary Grahams, and the players to build an environment that's making the community want to go to a place for more than just the hockey. I'm starting to notice learn people's names at the games. We're becoming like a family. So to say we now have a single season record for the most amount of people in the building, that's cool. But it's the for lack of better terms, the quality of people we're getting in the building and the family we're growing, the community we're growing. It's unbelievable, and it makes me emotional and overwhelmed, especially considering we still have one game left to go.
Think back, if you will. Let me put you in my Wayback Machine. Let's go back to October. Because you didn't know what was coming. None of us did. I wasn't even here yet. And looking forward, I mean, you had an inkling of the support you might get, folks who jump back in and were excited. But now that you've made it here, I mean, think of what it meant to you in October and what your thoughts were versus where it is now. How different is it, or is it what you thought the path might be?
It's well surpassed what I could ever imagine as the expectation. Now, we went into it what we would consider realistic expectations. Our arena holds probably close to 8,500 people. If we can get to a point to halfway through the season, we can get 3,500, 4,000 people to come to a game. That gives us a fantastic building point to build into a second year. So to, come that military game where we set the league attendance record for a home game with almost 8,000 people. Now we're leading the league in average attendance with almost 5,000 people average per game. And now we just set the league record for the most amount of people to come to a season. To say it surpassed mine and the Kevin's expectations would be a dramatic understatement.
It's been interesting. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh no, I was going to say the city of Florence has just really rallied around the team, the boys, the game of hockey. And it's surpassed every bit of expectation, and it's been overwhelming and incredible.
That's kind of where I wanted to go with this next question, is just talking a little bit about, I actually saw it back in the PD Pride days when I was in the East Coast League originally. And I remember coming here, I was part of the Augusta Lynx back then, but I wondered, and it's a fair thing to wonder, whether or not there would still be that support for hockey here. But it's interesting, and I think you and I have had the same experience generationally. We have had fans come up to us and talk about how, hey, I was here as a kid. My mom, my dad, my family, whatever, brought me to the games when it was the Pride, and now I'm back. And in some cases, they're bringing their families.
It's still my favorite comment I've mentioned it on the show with you before. I mention it to people when I talk every time. It almost makes me tear up every time because it makes me think about my dad, who
took me to my first hockey game. And when people come up and say that exact thing, came to the Pride with my insert loved family member, and they might not be with us anymore, but now I'm here with my children, and you see their kids smiling. I have kids bringing me friendship bracelets with the IceCats logos on them, and to see the joy in their faces, it brings so much excitement for me. It's still one of my favorite interactions I get to have with fans is that conversation.
It's cool to see the little kids get into it, isn't it? They're so excited.
I love it. I love the excitement. It seems like younger and younger. I don't remember having that much of an opinion on my favorite player, but it seems fans as young as I can't even 2-3 years old are very locked into what players are playing when, and they love them. So I love to see it. I love to see the young kids knowing the players' names and not just watching hockey. It's really fantastic.
Yeah, the other fun thing you've had a chance to do this year, we've seen you on the bench a few times. You've added to your to your titles with this team. I mean, CEO, owner, part owner, and now coach. How was that experience?
Yeah. So, don't forget, I also had a win as an equipment manager too.
That's right.
No, what I told everyone is I like being on the bench because it's one of the few times I actually get to watch the hockey game because I love to interact with the fans. But I'll be honest with you, Tom, I absolutely hated coaching. It gives me a full different level of respect for the coaches and what they do, even as a player. The stress that's involved as a coach because let's be honest, I didn't do any coaching on that bench. That was mostly Nick Graham. I pretty much just screamed at the top of my lungs for 3 games, just generic words of encouragement. But the stress of guys going on the ice, how much you miss, it was a really harrowing and humbling experience, and it just made me respect Coach Graham and Nick even more, and every hockey coach, because I humbly will be retiring from my professional hockey coaching career. That's not for me ever again. I'm much better as a fan.
It is interesting that you bring that up, Mike, because I believe that too. That is the worst place to watch a hockey game from, is standing behind a bunch of players on the bench. Yet that's what we ask our head coaches to do in this sport and try to see everything going on. It's real hard to do.
It moves the game. I mean, I played at the high levels, and the games never moved faster for me than when you're trying to coach, because you're trying to line match. But by the time I'm thinking of the line match, the next line's already out. The ref's telling us we've lost time. Like, it's the speed in which you have to understand the game as a head coach. Like I said, I've always respected it, but it made me realize that I can't do it. I don't have the hockey knowledge, intelligence, or patience to do that job. So any hockey coach or anyone who wants to be a hockey coach out there, good on you. Not for me. I'll take my 100% win record and ride off into the sunset.
You can retire on that. Absolutely. I love that. Mike Ronan is our guest as we're talking a little bit here on IceCats Insider about setting the single season attendance record. Mike, there is one more game coming up here. It's obviously Fan Appreciation Night is always a great night. Star Wars night. And I know there's a lot going on for this team, but I mean, if you're going to give the Fan Appreciation Night speech, and what are you going to say to the fans as far as their role in the season and the success so far?
Well, I would say, putting me on the spot, it'd be hard to find the right words. What immediately comes to mind is now that I'm here in Florence more often, it's not said as much, but I told a lot of the fans earlier on in the season, a big reason we've been able to put what I'm going to refer to as quality of a product as we've been able to grow throughout the season and get better and better on ice is because of the fans. And I hope they realize that. Whenever I would come into town, one of the first things new players would always say to me is, Mike, I can't believe how good the fans are to us here. That's everyone from the fans they meet at the meet and greets to the booster clubs. They really make the environment for the players to play fun, welcoming. And the guys, a lot of times in professional hockey, guys can get, I don't want to use the term selfish, but thinking about themselves. And right now, all of our players, they want to do well. They want to get to the playoffs. They want to grow the season attendance for the fan base because they always tell me how much the fans deserve it. So they are a huge hand in what I'm going to refer to as an incredibly successful season. And we're not even close to done yet. We still got games to win, playoffs to win, and a championship to go for. But the players want it for the fans just as much as the fans want it. So the fan appreciation, we can't appropriately verbalize, but on that fan appreciation night, we're going to do everything we can to make sure everybody that walks in that building has as much fun as possible.
Well, and that's been the other thing too, that everything's been evolving this year, right? I mean, again, let's go back to October when, no lights, no scoreboard, Everything was different. Even putting the ice in has become a different process here. I mean, there's been so much learning and growing and the evolution of the show for the fans and the entertainment factor from the beginning of the year to now. It's been leaps and bounds.
Oh, it's been incredible. I mean, I'll be completely honest. The first game we walked into the arena, I was like, man, we got a lot of work to do because this is not the type of product we're going to want to give to people that ask them to pay for. But every single week we've gotten better, and that's just a huge testament to one, the fan base of giving us good ideas of the things they need that are going to make them happy to justify the time, effort, energy, and money they spend. But also, holy crap, people like you, Phil, the whole game day staff, the arena staff, everyone works so hard to every single week make the product better. I love that we are in an organization that I'm surrounded by people where that was good just isn't quite good enough, and we want to continue to make everything better every single week for every fan we can. I love it.
It has been a lot of fun. And you know what? It is interesting, too, to get the fan feedback because this is the generational crossroads, too, right? Some want kind of some throwback elements. They're like, well, I remember, the Pride doing this, or I thought it was cool when. But then there's other things that you look around and we take inspiration from everywhere, right? We look at other sports. We look at what NHL teams are doing. So to be able to find that perfect blend of the old and the new, respecting the traditions while embracing the technology is really, that's kind of alchemy in a way.
It's really difficult because we're trying to find the right line, right? We're trying to pay the correct amount of homage to the Pride, the fan base, what they built, but at the same time, I don't want to use the word distance, but we want to have our own identity. We're the Ice Cats. We're not the Pride. So we're trying to show appropriate love and respect those players and everyone in that fan base. But at the same time, we're building an Ice Cat fan base too. So blending those it's difficult, and we have missteps here and there. But that's kind of the framing we're trying to take it around is paying homage to the Pride and where we came from, but also trucking forward under the Ice Cats banner.
I know it'll be a couple of years before we figure out who our all-time great Ice Cats are and hang their number from the rafters. But I think it was very much appreciated by the hockey community here in the PD to see the banners that went up and to respect, like I say, that and as you talk about, that heritage and to be able to, have Alain Sirois' number back up there and talk about all that. I think that means a lot to people because it does establish that link to the modern day and the hockey that's being played now.
I think so too, and you can tell that by the emotion that was felt in the building, and that from Elaine's face to his family face to we've got people in the stands crying from the memories that they got to have. So I think the emotion that was felt there was really incredible, and it wasn't just we're getting ready for a hockey game. I keep using the term over and over again, but it's a bridged family as we all grow together. This game brings all of us together. We spend birthday celebrations, anniversaries. We had some people talking about engagements and. Which made me think that there's, maybe we do a wedding on the ice here or something coming up. But just the emotion of all of it was really, really incredible. I love that ceremony. I told you, I think before, I told a lot of fans, I intentionally had Phil keep me in the dark about a lot of the festivities that night because I wanted to find out as a fan. So I was, there's another time that a camera probably caught me crying in a corner with emotion.
Did you guys tell Sirois that his banner was going to be there? Because he looked pretty caught off guard, or at the very least, super emotional.
He had no idea.
Okay.
He the only thing he thought was he was dropping the puck, and then we said, "Hey, we got to take a couple more pictures. Do me a favor, turn that way for the for the video camera." So I found out we were doing it about 10 minutes before he found out in the moment it was dropped.
I wondered because just his pure shock.
Yeah.
And maybe, okay, maybe if he knows ahead of time, just maybe seeing it, but that's actually kind of fun.
We've done it a few times with people that this year. We like surprising people. Most recently, my grandma, if anyone saw her drop the puck, she found out she was dropping the puck as I led her out onto the red carpet. So she punched me after that, but
nice.
We like surprising people with it because it gets good. The emotion becomes raw and the excitement's good. And his family was excited and all his teammates were so excited and the fan base were so excited for him. It just adds to the plethora of unbelievably good memories that we've already had this season. I mean, I look back through the season, you look at the military night, you look at the shutout in Binghamton, you look at the Pride night, and then now it just makes me look at what we're talking about on the docket for next year, where as I've said, we're not stopping at good enough. We're going to try to surpass every single one of those milestones and do them better next year and the year after and the year after. So,
Mike, renewals, it is time for renewals for ticket holders, but I know a lot of folks are probably asking, hey, I didn't have seasons this year, but I want to ride the wave. I want to get on board. So if someone comes up to you and says, why would I want to become a season ticket holder for the Pee Dee IceCats, what would you say to them?
I'd say a few things. I'd say one, because I have a personal, from the business standpoint, I have a feeling that pretty soon that list is going to get harder and harder to get on as we continue to create a better on-ice product and a better fan experience. That, hey, I should get a season ticket is going to turn into, oh, no, I should have gotten them when we got a chance. But aside from the product on the ice, which is having the ability to go to a hockey game, and the perks that we're going to give to season ticket holders, as we said, season ticket holders are going to be a part of that experience. We're going to try to make better next year. So season ticket holder gifts, perks, prizes, all those things. But to me, the biggest thing is the people you find around you. My favorite part of every IceCats game is interacting with the fans and the people. And I love that you can go into individual sections and everyone knows each other's names. They go out to dinner with each other. That event has created a community where it's more than just hockey. It's, like I said, it's just an abridged family. So the reason you should is because you're gonna lose the opportunity once we start selling out completely, but you're not gonna find a better group of people around you than the Florence community getting together to watch hockey. That's what my favorite part is, sitting in the stands with fans or hanging out with fans around the glass and watching hockey together and realizing that everybody's gotten to know each other so well. Yeah, so it's the community and this fan base is what makes this team and every aspect of it awesome, from player experience to season ticket holders.
And as we can attest, I mean, there's no better place to be around here than when that building is packed and it's loud and it's so much fun.
It's my favorite thing of, you look at guys that I don't want to use the term journeyman, but guys that maybe didn't have the best experiences at some of the other places. I was talking to Xavier Abdella, Ben Pizzamenti. Xavier was playing in Europe to 50 to 60 people. You look at Parker Rutherford, who came from a place where he didn't have the best support from the fans. So they'd have a couple hundred people, or he's getting shelled 8-9-0. So for him to show up and for that military game and to be almost 8,000 people screaming, he got off the ice and you'd never seen a kid more in shock. His face lit up and I said, Parker, how you doing? And he said, this is one of the best memories of my life, Mike. This is unbelievable. I can't believe this is happening. Me, Gullo, Diaz, X, and a few of the other guys were talking, and they had said, literally after the game Sunday night, they said, Mike, we were talking, we've played in visiting teams in arenas like this, and we've all at some point said, man, wouldn't it be nice to play on one of those teams? And now we're the team that players are saying that about, and that's awesome for me to hear.
Absolutely, and that bodes well for building the team in the future. And so, Mike,
it doesn't hurt recruiting, that's for sure.
No, it absolutely does not, because these guys all talk.
Oh yeah, like I said, I've said a few times, I'd be lying. We've gotten calls from all over the country. Actually, from agents from Europe. We have no shortage of guys wanting to come play for the IceCats, and the fans are a big reason for that. So as we make this playoff push, we're super happy with our roster we have right now, the guys we have right now, the product we're putting on ice. But next year it would shock me as we're able to grow, because guys retire, guys move on, guys go to different leagues. You're going to see some guys move up to different levels. So those spots will open. It's just the inevitability of this game. But we're going to continue to try to put a higher level product on the ice. And that's another reason I'd say, if you're thinking about becoming a season ticket holder, it's because adding a Jumbotron isn't the only thing we're trying to make better. The hockey team is really a big focus of making better, and we're really going to strive for it.
So, Mike, earlier, and this is putting you on the spot, I'll freely admit this, but you also don't have to respond to it yet, and you may simply not know, but you alluded to next year and some of the things that you're looking at for next season. Is there anything that you can either hint at or maybe tell fans, hey, this might be in the pipeline for next season?
Well, what I'll tell everyone is the big one. This is one I'm going to refer to if Mike had a magic wand. We haven't really talked to anyone yet. It's not something we've gotten done yet, but I'm going to continue. I'm going to throw it in the ether, and I think we can get enough fans to support it. I want to do an outdoor game at Darlington.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I want to do an outdoor game at the infield in Darlington. I think their stands hold 40,000 people. The league is growing exponentially. Currently, at the moment, we have 3 or 4 expansion teams coming in the FPHL next year. I would love if in November, December, we could get the community to rally together, sponsors to rally together to help us get together with the Raceway so we could do an outdoor game that, one, helps our community, fills it, does something exciting that people down here have never seen before, but also bring one of those expansion teams in to play against so that their fan base can grow and learn and see what hockey looks like. And we can put on an outdoor show for 35, 40,000 people and have just an unbelievable weekend outdoors. So it's something we're going to want to talk about. Right now, it's currently just an idea, but that is the big one that I really want to do that I think would just be incredible.
You know what I'm excited about, Mike, is I want to see your outfit, because we've seen, the coaches and that really embrace the fashion aspect of it. I can't wait to see what you would be wearing for this game.
we always have the Kevins have a pretty good, so KC always wears a suit. Kevin Boggs, as everyone knows, Kevin Boggs, he'll wear whatever theme we have. He'll wear a suit. Obviously that comes fantastic with having, a sponsor like Butler's who takes such good care of us. And I'm a big fan of getting some good merchandise, whether it be from IceCats or from Butler's. It's something fun. But if we do an outdoor game or something like that, I promise you, the ownership and coaching fashion, Butler's is going to make us look unbelievable.
I cannot wait. I'll join you guys in that one. I'll jump in.
So we're tossing that into the ether. We're going to talk to the people we need to talk to. I know zero about how to put one of those on, but thankfully we have people that have been around the hockey world for a really long time, like Tom Callahan, who can probably point us in the right direction on how to get it done. But I want to do one. I think it'll be incredible.
Nice. No pressure on me. Perfect. All right. So, Mike, anything else? Go ahead.
One other thing we're going to try to do a few more specialty jerseys. Okay. Obviously the fan base, I know that we have a lot of fans that like collecting or making those fun nights. It comes down to something very simple. It's a concept me and the Kevins have talked about. Is hockey is tremendous as a sport, but I don't want to use the word spectacle because it seems dramatic, but combined with the hockey game, if you can have something additional to make the game fun, to bring people into the game, that might not necessarily, it's like, I don't know anything about hockey, but I really like Star Wars, so I'm going to go check out this hockey thing on Star Wars night, and that's how you create hockey fans. And so we're going to really lean into that for next season. It's going to be a lot of fun. This year was a lot of less learnings. Next year is going to be a lot of applying those things that we've learned to make that fan experience and on-ice products even better.
Perfect. And I guess, that's where I was going to ask, Mike, is there anything else you wanted to share with the fans here as we wrap things up on this segment? But there's so much, right?
Thank you. On Sunday night, you have to think of the records we've hit this year for the most fans into a building in the FPHL history. We're now at a league attendance history. We've broken so many records that I'm having trouble thinking of them for fan experience. I love when I go walk around Florence now and in Target and I see people wearing IceCats merchandise. Only thing I can say to the fans is thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your input. Quick side note, again, I've said it on the internet before. I am terrible at the internet. So I got Facebook for the first time ever when I bought this team. Last week I got 1,500 direct messages. So if I'm not responding to you on Facebook, I'm so sorry. It's because I'm overwhelmed. It's not that I'm ignoring you. Some people have gotten frustrated. So that's just a small one from me and the Kevins. We're not ignoring you. There's just a lot of you and only 3 of us. So I apologize for not getting back to you in a quickly time frame. But I love seeing everybody at the games. I love your everybody's input. I love hearing from. I just love you all. We love you. We love everything that's happening here, and we're so excited for the future. So let's get some season ticket renewed. Let's continue to support the boys. We've got one more home game. I would love on that fan appreciation night if we hack that place out so that the boys know that they're loved, and so that way we can show as many of you as possible how much we appreciate you, and we can head into the playoffs on the right foot.
That's absolutely fantastic. And IceCats CEO Mike Ronan taking the time to join us here and talking about a lot of what's coming down the pipe here, but also what a tremendous season it's been. Want to say thanks to Mike, my thanks to Gary Graham, and my thanks to you for listening in. As always, that's going to do it for this episode of IceCats Insider. Don't forget, we're on the road in Blue Ridge this Friday and Saturday night, and the final home game coming up on April 4th. Do not miss it. It's Star Wars night, Fan Appreciation Night, 7:15 p.m. Tickets online at Ticketmaster.com. Don't forget to use code IceCat for a 25% discount off your Ticketmaster order. All right, thanks for listening in, everybody. We'll talk to you next week. This has been IceCats Insider.